Hi everyone, welcome to Module 3. We finished Module 2, which was about American culture, and we are going into immigrants and their experiences in the United States. We will be focusing mainly on educational experiences, but we are going to look at overall experiences too. Now, I just want to go back to Module 2 for a second. There's something that I just want to share with you guys. One of the concepts we looked at was white privilege. I just want to make sure that you understand that the intention is not to imply any guilt or hurt anybody's feelings. It's a social concept. It has been around for a while, and it has some quite some truth in it. White privilege does exist, and I will give you an example, small example of this from my own life. Now, when you see me outside and when you look at me, you're seeing a white person, and then, well, when I open my mouth, people know that I'm not a white American. I'm an immigrant, but until I open my mouth, people do not know. They cannot tell that I'm an immigrant or that I'm not a white American in the traditional sense. Anyways, this is a small example from a couple years ago. I was walking out Walmart at a night time, and after I did my shopping, I had my bags in my hand, and then right next to me was a African American young male walking with me. As we were walking out, we were like right next to each other. As we were walking out, the alarm went off. So somebody had something that was not paid or that was not properly processed in the bag, but we didn't know whom. The African American male was stopped immediately, and nobody said anything to me. There you go. My skin saved me right there. Now, this might be a small example, but just imagine experiences like this happening on a regular basis. This could be quite an issue for people who have to face issues like this. Now, white privilege goes into immigrant issues too, but let's talk about immigrants and their education. You have your module readings, which will give you some good general sense and good specifics about how to educate immigrant children. This is a highly political issue, but again, we are more interested in the educational side of it, but it's still a political issue. Now, when people come to the United States, they come for a reason. They come with expectations. Nobody wants to leave their homeland for no reason. And when they bring their children do not have a choice. If mom and dad decide to leave and go to another place, children have to go with them. They don't necessarily choose to come here or to migrate anywhere else. Now, when children come from other countries, or even if they are born here, there is usually a language issue, and you are going to have such children in your classroom. They will likely not have proficiency in English. There will be cultural differences. There might be some adaptation issues. You're going to have to find ways to teach these students. Now, of course, there are effective ways. There are not so effective ways. Now, one of the countries in the world, Finland. Finland has been leading the way in educational achievement. It has been the top country in the world in math, reading, and science type of standardized tests, and I think Finland is followed by Singapore and Korea, South Korea. Finland is a multicultural society too. They have a lot of immigrants, but they have found ways to find success for immigrant children in their schools, and one of the ways in which they achieve this is through bilingual education. As a matter of fact, children in schools in Finland, by the time they finish mandatory schooling, they know 3 languages. Their native language and whatever language is spoken there, and then 1 additional language. So, some of the immigrant education issues we face in the United States are faced in other parts of the world, and it seems like other people have found some good solutions. So our goal in this module is to learn ways to educate immigrant children, understand immigrant children, and kind of find a path for them to be successful in school and in society. Now, the readings for this module, the spring 2007, the intersection of cultures book. This book is going to give you some general perspective of immigrants and some general issues like voluntary versus involuntary immigration and bilingual education and such. You're going to get most of the practical information from the EGOA readings, and I know you have a good chunk of reading this in this module, so you might want to start immediately and read as fast as you can. The EGOA book, I mentioned this before, it will talk about a specific practice that she used with immigrant children, which is through film strips. Children made film strips to talk about their emotions and their experiences and such, and that was very effective. But remember, this book was written back in 1995, so film strips were okay then, but probably now, you know, PowerPoints or Prezi or children can use other media to express their issues or feelings. The other important thing in the EGOA book is the CAP system, CAP, cultural, academic, and psychological aspects of teaching immigrant children. And this is a very important system, and when you read this part of the book, I would like you to pay a lot of attention to it, because you will get some good theoretical and some good practical information from that section of the book, because immigrant children do come to the classrooms with, you know, cultural needs, academic needs, and psychological needs. They go through stages. If they are newcoming children, you know, at first, because they're in a new environment, there's some excitement, and then later on they go into a culture shock, they go into a silent stage. You know, there are multiple stages they go through. So teaching immigrant children involves not only the academic interventions or academic practices that you will engage in the classroom, it's also, you know, understanding their cultural needs and psychological needs. Now, in this module, there is also one other reading. Well, I don't know if I should call it a reading. There's a website that was suggested. It's the Immigrant Policy Portal. There are some good resources on that website. I think that you should go on that website and maybe spend about an hour, look at what they have, and there's some good information, there's some good perspective, and I think you will find it useful. Now, one thing that I want to tell you about this module is that you do not have a written assignment due at the end of this module like we did in modules 1 and 2. The next assignment we have is the immigrant interview, and that assignment will be turned in next week, Wednesday, not this week. So you don't have a written assignment due this week, you have a written assignment due next week. And the reason for that is that because the immigrant assignment is pretty much the biggest assignment of the course, we wanted, when I say we, I'm talking about Dr. Gilpin and I, because we are using these videos for both Dr. Gilpin's courses and my courses. We wanted you to have adequate time to prepare for this assignment. Now, you have the guidelines on the course website. You have suggested interview questions. Now, couple things that I want to make sure that you pay attention to. One is the consent form. There's a consent form on the course website. It's extremely important that you ask the person you interview for this assignment sign this consent form, because you will have to submit this consent form along with your assignment. Without the consent form, we will not consider your submission complete. Therefore, the submission will not be graded. Please pay attention to the fact that you have to do this consent form, and you have to have your interviewee sign the consent form. Now, when you send the consent form to us, you can scan it and email it, or you can fax it. The fax number for the department is 912-478-0026. You can fax it, or again, you can scan it and attach it to your assignment and send it together. Either way will be fine. Now, this interview is an important assignment. Number one, it's a fun assignment, and you're gonna get to learn about an immigrant and the type of experiences they had. We have a large number of questions, suggested questions on the course website, so you don't have to use every single one of them. If you already know something about the immigrant, then maybe you don't need to ask some of the factual questions and ask about.
Um, okay, my computer just went to screensaver, so probably I'm speaking slow again. Hopefully everything's back now. Okay, back to the assignment. Make sure that you have a tape recorder because you don't want to lose any information. Record everything, and then when you ask questions, make sure that you ask the certain questions, like why they left their country, what kind of expectations they had, what they found, what were their experiences in the first day, in the following days, their interactions with people. If the person you interview has children, find out if their children are embracing the American culture or their home culture. This can be an issue. I experience it every day with my son. He has Turkish culture from my side and French culture from my wife's side, but he's not interested in learning Turkish or French, so he's only interested in English and the American ways, and he has been getting his way. So such things might be issues for immigrants to deal with. Just go through those questions, select good ones, and when you do the interview, do it in a conversational style. You don't want to put the person in an uncomfortable position. Don't do it too formally. Should be in a conversational style. And when you start writing the paper, well, I guess I will explain that in the next video, but you might want to have a good structure to your paper. Maybe start with early days and school experiences, work experiences, etc., etc. But one good piece of this immigrant interview should be also about the person's experiences with English and learning English and the type of difficulties they had to deal with. Also, you might want to ask about if they ever had to deal with any type of discrimination. Some people may or may not realize these. Some people may realize a lot of them. So you will find out. Let me see what else. Other things are our weekly activities will continue. Just a reminder for the discussions. Just make sure that you respond to the main prompt by Thursday and respond to each other by Sunday midnight. And again, you have quite some reading this week, so you might want to start early. Make sure that you start early and finish the readings, and the information you will find in this week's readings will be really valuable to you because you are going to have immigrant children in your classrooms. And again, America is a diverse society. It's getting more and more diverse. There are more and more immigrants in the United States, so you are going to have immigrant children, and when you have immigrant children, you are going to have to work with parents also. So it's a very useful module for you. Put it in this way. So pay close attention to the readings, and I think that's all I can think of right now. I will talk to you guys when it's time for module number 4. So enjoy your week 3. Goodbye for now.